I'm your host, Thomas Corley. Thank you for listening and joining our musical journey. We here at Meet the Music are excited to share that as of this recording, we organically reached 51 countries. We are at the beginning of our fourth season and following our series on the uniqueness of the many sounds of African American music genres. However, this new episode will tie in to our previous season. This episode is the genre of go-go music. Yeah, I said it, go-go music, the official sound of our nation's capital. Joining me for insight is DJ King Nick Kannon. DJ King Kannon is founder and CEO of Bounce Beat Records. DJ King Kannon areas of interest are Black social history, Black popular culture, and Black popular music. I have no idea what DJ Kannon has planned for our conversation, but I do know you need to be in sponge mode and ready to soak it all in. DJ King Nick Kannon, welcome to Meet the Music.
Man, thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, my brother. So, give me a little background about yourself. What was being played in your household in your youth?
Ooh, so my mom is kind of has a passion, I'll say, for communications and broadcast. So she went to I forgot the school that she went to, and she's gonna kill me that I don't remember the name. And so we always had a wide selection of soul music in the house. My mom was born in like the 50s, so she comes up with 60s and 70s and 80s music. So Aretha, you got the Donny Hathaways, you got the Temptations. A lot of great Motown house was kind of, I guess you would consider, on my side of music influences back then. But my favorite song that she had, the original vinyls, was it was a song called "Putting on the Ritz." I forget whose record that is, and I want to look it up just so I have the give them the actual credit for that. Yeah, I forget the name of the group, but "Putting on the Ritz" was the name of the song, and it was really big Motown house. Temptations, Isleys, Aretha, Donnie, Shy Lights, all of the I think the urban at the time. I don't know what the exact name of it was at the time, but yeah, absolutely, just fantastic music ear that she had, and she was trying to she had an aspiration for being in radio, and she worked for the phone company for about 30 years. And,
okay.
She's one of the operators when you call, hello, 411. You know what I'm saying? So she had one of those voices that projected, and she tried her hand to get into a couple of stations in the area, but by trying to work and do that at the same time, it's a little difficult. But that's some of my musical influence. But my first go-go record that I heard was it was "Policeman That Won't Let You Go." Run, Joe. Run, Joe. Run, Joe. Run, Joe. That was the first, I think. Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. And so you were mentioning all the bands of Isley Brothers and things of that nature, and that kind of genre, early days of soul music and R&B.
Right.
Were you familiar with Parliament's Chocolate City?
At the time, I was not.
Later, yeah.
Later, yeah. That comes in later when I had to do a lot of research on the music in our city, and I had the opportunity. My first job was at a record store called PA Palace, and that first store, the original store, was in Landover Hills, Maryland, which is about 10 minutes from D.C., and they specialize in all Washingtonian music. So go-go music was the strong forefront of the store, but all local music from that time. So Parliament, what was it? The Parliament
Chocolate City
Band, fantastic music, and I had to research. I had to sit down. I really sit down and sat down. It took about a year just researching local bands, and I put my research in from Chuck Brown, Trouble Funk, Parliament, Chocolate City. Um, it was a Sunny Cascade. There was a couple of groups that I can't remember the name at the time, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was a couple of groups here from the '60s.
Right, right, right. So the thing is the question I kind of wanted to lead to is that is funk the foundation of go-go, or is go-go just not related to anything?
Um, if you want to take a, a genre and connect it to it, I would think funk would be the closest between and soul and funk would be the closest connection that I could put to the music. But living here, living here inside the music, I think that they would want their own identity. I believe that a lot of the, not just the newer bands, but even some of the older bands feel that this music has made enough adjustments to be considered its own genre of music. Meaning that,
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
So,
Yeah, I'm not taking that away from it. Just saying that they are. I just kind of, everything kind of
oh, from
builds on
somewhere else.
something,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
this.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't say
Like
it's been.
rock, like
Yeah,
like
yeah,
rock
yeah.
comes from and blues comes from
Country and
R&B.
R&B.
Exactly the same thing. So that's why I say
Yeah,
funk.
yeah,
That's why I
exactly,
say
yeah,
for me,
exactly, yeah.
funk would be the closest thing. A few other people might disagree and
Yeah.
say we kind of like a soul, we kind of like rock and roll because we got the live instrumentation. So it would be that would be a
Mm,
tough debate. But for me, my personal preference,
right,
I would say funk was definitely because you got some of the live
right,
instrumentation is
right.
there.
So, give me a little historical perspective for myself and listeners. Give them a little historical perspective on go-go music, the early
To
days.
me, on
Yeah.
the early for me, or
Sure.
for the history of go-go.
Both, both. I mean, because like you said, you had to do your research.
Right. So I had to learn a lot. There's some legendary bands here. DC has a phenomenal sound, and I think a lot of people to actually enjoy it. It's not like a anywhere else type of music. Like you can listen to classical music, and you can listen to rock music, and if you listen long enough, you'll find a connection to it. But go-go is different. It's a thing that you have to come and embrace. You have to catch it live. You have to see what the vibe is, and you have to kind of maybe travel with it abroad the city just a little bit to see the different venues and how the bands play and how they carry their sets and man, maybe step into some band rehearsals if they allow. Really get a feel of how the bands live a day to day, a 24/7 type thing.
Right, right.
Get a better perspective. But for me, history of go-go for me is we start with the great Chuck Brown, and we branch off from there. Big Tony, Trouble Funk, Sugar Bear with Experience Unlimited and EU, Red Essence, the legendary James Funk, doing his thing with all his bands, Lil Benny, and the Masters. They made phenomenal records, and these bands were actually here in the early days of go-go and creating and making original music. And for their time period, that they were on fire in our city. These guys would throw events and there'd be 20,000 people there just in DC.
Wow, that's
So
fantastic.
that started in the early 70s. And I'll fast forward just a little bit because I know we don't want this to turn into a movie. But we, get, we fast forward to my time. I step in early 90s of really being a part of the industry and making music with the music. I worked at the record store at an early age, and that's where I got my knowledge of a lot of the bands. But just hearing it around the house and having some of my cousins' PA tapes, it was just an amazing thing. Um, so I really embraced the music in the '90s, and some of my favorite bands were Northeast Groovers, the Backyard Band, Junkyard Band, of course, and of course Rare Essence. Those were my personal bands at the time. But the bands that I really had connections with were like what was it? I don't want to say that, the Hucklebucks, and then my man had a band, Tim, and he's gonna kill me that I forgot the name of his band's name, but I forgot. But that's where I figured that the bands have real personal connections to the city and to members in the city. Like a lot of these members, I think that's what makes the music great, is that, hey, I went to high school with him. You know what I'm saying? He's here opening up for
family
or something. Yeah, it's like an extended family. So that's what I think really you have to come and embrace the music, because you got to understand, we regular people up here making great music.
Now, before you started, when did you dip your toe in? Did you dip your toe in as a performer yourself?
So my story is a little different. I came into the music just a lover of the music, and as a kid coming to the shows. I think Junkyard was one of the first bands I went to go see perform live, and it was magical. The first time I stepped in, that you go in, you pay I think it was like $12 at the time. That was a lot. You pay your $12, you go in, and you like they give you this little weird pat down, make sure nobody's you ain't guarding the door, make sure you ain't got a gun on you or nothing, and you go in, and it's just a room filled with beautiful black people, mixed, sprinkled in with a couple of people of different races, and just dancing and vibing and enjoying themselves, having a good time. And the music is up loud. You can't hear you talking to you walking in with your friend like, hey, what time is it? And you gotta say, hey, what time is it? Well, it's like, what? So just coming in as a fan, once I started working at the store with the music, that's when I built relationships with a lot of the bands in the area. That I met the management. I would meet their security, and a lot of times some of the major band artists, they would come to the store just to pick up some of their new music, because the music is released. It's a different time today on how music is released, but back then we had a thing called the live PA tape that was very popular in Washington, D.C. It's where a band would play. What's today? We're not going to say that the podcast air, but if today was Monday night and Rare Essence played Monday night, I just said the East Side. Tonight's Monday. Essence was playing Monday night East Side. By Tuesday morning, all the barbershops, all the carryouts, all the car washes would have the new tape from Rare Essence from that night before. And some of these bands were gigging 3 and 4, 5 nights a week, sometimes 2 shows a day, and they're gigging, but they're releasing all of these PA tapes at the time. I'm working at the store, and I'm just watching the magic of, once they release something, the fans are coming in. Hey, I need that from last night. That's the one from last night. I want that. That's the one from last night. Last night, I need that. Last night, everybody wanted to have the newest material that the bands were putting out. And a lot of times, the set list may have been the same set list, just from a different location from the band, because they didn't get a chance to revamp new music. But we're putting out a new tape release, and sure. I think that they forget that the fans don't care. They want to hear, because it's a call and response, and you're engaging with your audience at the same time. So if you playing at the East Side on a Monday, which would be Southwest Washington D.C., and you're playing at the Aqua on a Friday, which is Northeast Washington D.C., the different neighborhoods might show up to these venues. And if you're saying 6th Street Crew, 6th Street Crew, 6th Street Crew all night, of course they want to hear themselves on. This is like
Sure,
saying happy
sure.
birthday, a go Corley, it's your
Yeah.
birthday,
Right,
and
right, right.
TC. You, of
Yeah, I
course I
got
want
you.
to hear that.
I
Yeah,
got you.
so
Yeah.
the PA tape was very popular, and with me seeing that business entrepreneurship happen, I started selling out of high school. I was selling PA tapes myself, so I believe that's where I started. I was selling PA tapes out of my locker, out of my high school locker, and I went to Bladensburg High School in Bladensburg, Maryland. Like I said, it was about 10 minutes from Washington D.C. and it was cool. That was how I started, just originally selling. That's how I feel like I started my start in the industry of
Okay.
just selling PA tapes out of my book bag.
Now, by chance, are you a musician yourself?
I DJ. I do DJ.
Okay.
I don't consider that a musician personally.
Why not?
I know you do the 1200s. I know because you do the 1200s, and so now let me clarify because I
Yeah.
know people won't get on me for this.
Yeah.
Okay, so controls are cool. Turntables and being a turntablist is an art form.
Hmm.
It is a skill set
Yeah.
that many cannot possess if they try. If you gave them, like they got this crazy thing called the Squid Games out now. You give them a choice of here's the 1200 right in front of you. Show me how to use it, and they go from a
Right.
controller, and they will have no idea
Yeah.
where to start. So
Right.
turntablism, I respect the mix masters. I respect real DJing is
Yeah.
different. So I don't consider myself a musician because I play zero instruments. I respect every musician.
Maybe I
Um,
may not need. Maybe I should not. Maybe I should bust my own bubble. I got out the
okay.
game before you started scratching.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was already done when they started scratching. So basically, I was your extend the music kind of a guy. Turn
Yeah,
a three
you let
minute
that
song
play.
into a 12-minute song.
10 minutes on. Yeah, yeah. Let it
Yeah,
play, baby. Let it play. Boom.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
was just a master of the beats per minute, those BPMs. I was just a master of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as
That's
scratching and anything else in that, I didn't have that skill set. In fact, I don't say I couldn't do it, but I just never got to that
yeah.
point.
You
I
never
was
put
already out
to
of
it.
the game. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was already out the game.
Yeah, so I don't think I'll ever leave DJing. I love it so much. Just even though I use the control, I think I need to, like I did my history and my research on go-go music. I think I need to do the same with the DJing, so I can get
Mm,
more in depth. Like right now, I'm okay. I
right.
know how to move a crowd. Good skills.
Yeah.
But when I watch these guys that are going for these Red Bull tournament championships and they're running off of 1200 techniques, man, I'm like, this guy's a beast.
Right.
I'm not saying I can never do it, but I haven't practiced that one.
Right.
I'll be honest, I haven't
Yeah.
practiced it. So
Right.
but you give me the 1200, I can do something on it too.
Right.
So
So what is your take on the whole band go-go scene? Is it today? Do they do studio time, or is
mhm.
everything cut from live sessions? So what's the transition now? Do they do studio time, or everything is still
Oh,
recorded
live on the
as?
stage. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that's what you said. Yeah, no, I really can only speak for a few bands. I
Hmm.
don't want to I don't know what everybody's recipe is right now.
I mean, what's your observation then? I guess you could just share with me what do you see? What do you know?
It's gotten better. It's gotten better. A lot of bands are going in the studio. Um, it can get better by you know writing songs, creating a lot more original music. We got the beat down. At this point, it's time to figure out what are we making these songs for. Are we
Hmm.
making these songs for Coca-Cola? Are we making these songs for Mattel? Are we making these songs for General Mills, for Ford?
Yeah,
What do we
soundtracks.
write soundtracks, movies, TV? What are we making the music for? And I think once we get a forthright direction on what we're making the music for, we'll start coming up with more creative music. But as of now, I see bands, everyone's jabbing and just trying, and they're trying to change it, and some people are trying to make it sound like it's not go-go, but it is go-go. Just trying to over-process it. Just let it be what it is, and for the people who love it, and they'll respect what we're trying to do. Make it for the people who love it, and everybody else just have to fall in line. I don't see any other artists down south, West Coast changing their format or formula, trying to make it fit for somewhere else. Like I said, unless you're trying to cross over. And if you're trying to cross over, that's fine. Go pop. But for the people who want to come out Monday through Monday, come on down.
Well, that's an interesting point that you bring there, though, because when you think of rap, you think of geography. And so what you're saying, you don't see another locality putting their spin on it? Is that what you're thinking? You don't think St. Louis can do go-go from their perspective?
I think anybody can do go-go.
Okay.
To be honest, it's not a music that is that should be kept just in Washington, D.C. I think it should go abroad. But a lot of people, they won't take it the same.
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. You're saying it'll lose something in the translation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to use the drug analogy, but it's kind of like watering down your product.
Hmm?
You putting too much on something. Like I said, it's a lot that's already here. That's great, but we're just not taking advantage of it.
Okay, so tell me what this bounce beat is. I'm unfamiliar with it totally, so give it to me from the beginning.
All right,
I have no idea what it's about.
So you've never heard? So you've heard of Washington D.C. go-go music, correct?
Right, correct.
Okay, so what bounce beat music is, it's still classified as go-go music, but what the bounce is kind of for the younger generation, where they play a heavier percussion set versus where in contemporary or I guess from our area we would say classic regular go-go music, they play high and low and congas throughout majority of their set. Now, bounce beat has changed the infrastructure of that. So what it has done is infuse go-go music into that, but it also has added its own rhythm to it. So instead of the basic 4x4 beat, it's playing a 4x5, I believe. How do you do it? 4-5-4? I think that's what it is. I think that's the measure. 4-5-4. But on timbales instead of congas. And then you're taking your percussionist, your drummer, and you're making him complement the timbales. So they're bouncing the beat off of each other. Now, the extra component to that is your front line has your front line, which is your lead talkers or your microphone guys or your rappers or your singers. They're rhythmically chanting the whatever the song is. They're flipping the beat. So if it's "Hey girl, I love you," right? Bounce beat would take that song and say, "Hey girl, I love you, 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 you,
Okay.
you." They would take that song and put a slight bounce to it, and instead of it's just so that is created the bounce beat. And so younger generation bands, meaning the bands that probably started in the 2000, they've been playing about 20 years now. I guess that would be young. I don't know for some people, but they started in the 2000 era. These bands were created in like the late 90s and started getting their stardom in the early 2000s. And one of the bands that I work with closely and directly is TCB, which is the band that created this sound from its founder, Reggie Brunel, which his name is Polo. And he was the lead talker for the TCB band, the Bounce Beat Kings, but he recently passed a couple of years ago due to hypertension. And for the last, I believe he's been gone about 5 years now. The band's still been playing, similar to when Chuck Brown passed. It's the creator of Go Go. He would be the Chuck Brown of Bounce Beat would be Polo. And,
Okay.
He passed.
Gotcha. So what was the spark for you to start your label?
The pandemic. To be honest with you, no.
Oh, the label is that new?
It's that new. It's that new.
Oh, okay.
So we, I'm gonna be honest with you, what were we doing? It was no. Okay, I'm gonna give you this because people don't even understand. Sometimes you just got to do stuff, even if it.
This is exclusive. This is exclusive.
This is kind of exclusive. I think so. I think like one other person may know, but this is definitely a Thomas Corley exclusive. Okay, so
appreciate it.
No problem. So we originally started the label in order to get our songs on TikTok. We have a large fan base on TikTok and social media. So TikTok was one of the platforms where people are playing music, and we want to be on every platform that people are playing music. So the thought was I had the idea of creating a label a couple of years ago, and just being busy, just a normal, I DJ now post pandemic, not as much, but before pandemic I DJ'd 6 nights a week. So it was no time to really sit down and see what is it going to take to really start a label, a music label, and make it successful, instead of just people start stuff every day and it ends up doing nothing. But in the pandemic, we just wanted to get our music on TikTok, and with me already researching the label, I knew that was one of the distribution points if we decided to distribute music. And TCB, which is the flagship band for Bounce Beat Records, my partner and I, Elgin Miller, we just started the label. Say, hey, well, we're gonna have to put some money up and trademark, copyright, and start this label to make sure we can start getting our music on TikTok. And that's how the label was started. The label wasn't started because we were like, we want to find the hottest talent in DC and make it bigger. But it ended up working out that way, because now we have acts that work with the label. Shout out to the One Band. They're under the label. TCB, of course, and we're starting to gradually start, I guess, like our own personal star search in Washington, D.C., trying to find other bands and other acts and artists to sign on to Bounce Beat Records. But we had to put our toe and pinky toe in the water first and see how it went. And we're doing pretty good, man. Everybody go download and stream something today, man. Bounce Beat Records, and search anything. DJ King Kannon on Bounce Beat Records. Appreciate that.
All right, well, we'll do that. So, what do you see? What do you see in the future of bounce beat as a genre or subgenre? What do you see? Do you see that making a transition out of the DC area?
It can. It has marketability. It has youth marketability, and the problem is going to be that go-go to me is becoming what I'm noticing, and this is my personal. Please, DC, do not come chase me down, people, because these are just my thoughts. If you have another opinion, that's fine. To me, it seems like our and respectfully, our older music and our older artists get the shine. So for me, it's going to take for Bounce Beat to really come up with, if Drake or Future or Jay-Z want to give up, a feature, that might help. Maybe the Migos make a combo, maybe some sort of infusion to kind of, if you want to make that transition. But it would have to be something great and something that everybody can gravitate to. Or just come up with a better strategy.
No, what I was saying, historically, it seems to be the youth makes music popular. So when you go back to the 50s, it was the teenagers then. And when you got the days of hip-hop, it was the teenagers then, in particular suburban teenagers who were making it. Because my understanding was, and listening to an interview that Russell Simmons did, He said the white suburbians made hip hop because us black folks, were too busy bootlegging
Yep.
and copying to,
Yep.
to make it get off the ground. So so yeah, I guess what's your when you do shows for Bounce Beat, what do you see in the audience? You see old
You
heads or you see young heads?
nah. It's right now. It's a
In fact, when you're
huge.
DJing, what do you see?
Yeah. Right now, it's a huge gap, and I'm a good person to ask that question too because like on previously I was doing Thursday nights with TCB, the Bounce Beat Kings. That's a big Bounce Beat band, the biggest in Washington D.C. Um, and then I would do a Friday night with the Backyard Band, one of the biggest bands in DC in their category. They're not a bounce beat band. And then I would do Saturday nights with Rare Essence. So I would see, I can see even just from my playlist where I have to play,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the bounce crowd they don't want to hear Snoop Dogg and Jay-Z records. Whereas though the backyard crowd is kind of in between and
Mm-hmm.
they can vibe either way. You can play either one. Whereas the Essence crowd, they don't want to hear too much Future and uh, Mo 3 or no disrespect to these artists. That
Right.
it's just the time they want to hear the music of their time. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what I see in the difference between the segregation. I'm gonna call it segregation, but it's just an age difference. And when I DJ, like I said, it'll be a 18 to 25 on one night, and then another night it's a 21 to 30, and then it's a 30 up. That's the separation. And
Mm-hmm.
these crowds never blend. They rarely mix in unless you put something together. But if you put together, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Capitol Center, but if you put together a show like the Capitol Center where you do a Junkyard, a Rare Essence, a EU, a Trouble Funk, and um, I'm not sure who else you would put on there. But if you do something like that and then you go across town, that would be the older bands. If you do a bounce show with the TCB and a reaction band, a TOB and an ABM band, you would see the numbers and the age difference. Just it could be the same venue,
Mm-hmm.
2 different days. You just see the huge difference in the age gap. So I love it because the youth is what's going to keep the music moving.
Right. Absolutely. So, can you share with us a few classic um, go-go records or songs or albums that somebody who's unfamiliar, somebody who's been listening to jazz forever and never heard of, go-go, what would you suggest that they add to their playlist? And
Ooh.
then would you also provide us, maybe up and coming or some people from Bounce Beat, some songs that they should download?
Oh, of course. All right, so we'll go old school.
Okay.
Um, if I do old school, I have to do, of course, EU featuring Sugar Bear, my guy. You gotta go doing the butt. All right, you
Mm-hmm.
have to go there. It depends on what you want to hear first. I need to know what type of go-go
If
you
that
want to
person,
see.
if that person is in the jazz world,
Okay.
they've been listen, if they've been
Okay.
listening to jazz, they've been in the jazz world,
Now,
and all of a sudden now they want to break out and listen to something different.
now, if you're into jazz, okay, because I do love jazz, I would put. There's a new band out, and they are called Press Play, and they play a kind of a jazzy set that leads into some great pockets and sockets. I believe the lead for that band is Donnell Floyd from the legendary Rare Essence, from the fantastic Familiar Faces band. I believe that's where I would get you to start. Now that's where I want you to start. Now I
Okay.
want you to open up this catalog because I need you to put in there. I need your playlist to have some Trouble Funk. Okay, that's big. That's big. Let's get big, y'all. Y'all seen the movie Juice? Trouble Funk is there, so you
Okay.
need to have that Trouble Funk in there. And now I'm gonna say
Uh-huh.
bands. I'll say bands that you should add to your playlist versus saying songs, because I think once if I give you a song and you don't like it, then you're gonna just discredit everything. So I need you to
That's true.
go
That's
and
right.
listen to the band and say, hey,
Okay.
this I like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good
Also,
approach.
so yeah, because Go Go is not really big on singles, unfortunately. But um, I'm great with singles because we're an independent record label, so I love singles. But
But you do have to remember, people who are today, they are consuming music
at all time,
as a background.
yep,
They
yep,
don't
yep.
appreciate
It's
a
the
album from beginning to end.
it's music now is the commercial for people's lives. So
Yeah,
you have
exactly.
30 seconds. That's an IG story. That's whatever it fits in these small social media platforms. That's the time that you have to make it make sense to someone else.
Right.
So I'm going to say you need to download some Rare Essence, Subtle Thoughts, and Familiar Faces. Those would be my top bands. And then I want to suggest it's a band called WAP and them. Then now, if
Okay.
you into jazz, they need to be at the top of your list. WAP and them. And I know somebody's gonna kill me for not mentioning their band, but they'll get over it. And if you want to try something just outside the box,
Oh
you want
yeah,
to say
believe me. When I
you
ask
want to
people to do these lists, they always under the trigger.
yeah. This is crazy because somebody is definitely gonna say, Cannon, how you gonna name bands and not name my band? You come see me every night. I said Rare Essence, right? Did I say Rare Essence? I said Rare Essence. You need to add Rare Essence to okay.
Right.
You
You,
need to
you
add
definitely
Rare
did.
Essence.
You
I'm just
did. You
saying
did.
I don't.
Yeah. And if even what you can do, even after something comes to you later on, email me or text me, hit me up with
Oh,
that, and I'll
beautiful.
add it
That'll
to
work.
the
That'll work for
outro.
me. So we can add it in there. Of course, I'm gonna say add TCB,
Yeah.
the Bounce Beat Kings. You add that band. You want something completely outside
For
of the
sure.
box of what you normally would listen to and what's normal and go. That's a band you want to add. Now, another band I like, the Reaction Band. REACTION. I believe that's how they spell it. Oh, and I cannot forget New Impressions Band. These three bands, and I'm sure once you open these bands up, it's going to open you up to a whole scale of other bands that follow behind them. Yeah, so
That's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. We want the listeners to be able to expand
that's what I want.
their horizon.
People to. So yeah, so those are just some of the bands that I would like for y'all to check out, and then just go down the wormhole. Just it's a wormhole. It's some beautiful music here in the city. Frank Sirius, um, Sirius Company, and my other favorite brand, Black Alley. And sometimes they don't consider themselves a go-go band, and I understand because they make very great music. But they're from the area, and they're a band you should check on if you're checking out bands.
All right. So what do you have up and coming? Your record, your label. What do you guys got coming up here before the year? Anything coming up before the year's out, or something jumping off before? I mean, first of the year. What do you guys have coming up on your for your record label that you want to put
We're
out there?
releasing a Christmas album on the 1st of November.
Which act is that
Brand
going to
new.
be? A compilation of all your acts, or just one act?
Yeah, it's a compilation of it's actually a compilation of a bunch of Washington D.C. acts, not just go, not just rap.
Okay.
I have was a pianist and a violinist. They do jingle bells. It's gonna just completely instrumental, and I just wanted to shake things up a little bit.
All right.
Because we're independent. So we're putting out the Christmas album November. And then I think before January. That's what it is. 12/31. We're releasing an original compilation as well. Doing some work with Shorty Coleon, formerly of Rare Essence, and we're working on the band's some original music now. We're actually shooting a video, and then 2022. I want to say what I have, but I can't.
Okay, no worries.
So
we'll have you back on.
That means I have to come back. Yeah, I have to come back.
Yeah, you'll come back. Just hit me up.
This what we're working on. It's going to be amazing, and
okay.
it's going to help under the umbrella under Bounce Beat Records, but it's also we're shooting films now. We're going to do our own videos, but we're also shooting short films. So I'm gonna just
excellent.
I'm telling a little bit too much, but
so
2022, that's the direction we're going in.
Okay, so what's how can people track you down socially?
I don't do any social media. I'm out of here. After you don't catch me today, that's it. It's over. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I was say, well, how is that possible? I was like, wait a minute. Man. How do you not do that these days?
You can't go off the grid. You gotta.
Much as I would love to, but I gotta keep the podcast in people's mouths. So I would love to get off of social media, Instagram. But what's your handles on everything?
Everywhere, DJ King, King Kannon. That's where you can find me on pretty much everything. If you want to check the YouTube channel, it's Nick Nick Kannon. That's the name on YouTube. You can check out the videos I post. I got a few minutes of crank on there. It's a web series that I talk to legendary and local artists and play about 6 to 7 minutes of their live performance, if it's a band or artist or whatever. If they're performing like in front of the Verizon, what is it called now? The Capital One Arena where the Wizards play. They're performing out there. I'll catch that and get a quick interview with them. It's called A Few Minutes of Crank. Check that out on my YouTube channel. And everything else, man, IG, Facebook, search DJ King Kannon. You trying to find some music or some merchandise that I'm rocking right now. Times I'm gonna send you something, send you a hat or something. You send me the address, I send you a hat and a shirt. You send me the size. I gotta get you bounce beated up out there, man. Go to the website at www.bouncebeatkingstcb.com. And that'll bring you into that'll bring you into our universe. Once you go to that website, it'll bring you right into our universe, and you can find everything you need right there.
Excellent, my friend. Appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you for having me, man. I appreciate this opportunity. I tell people all the time, this isn't every day, so y'all got to take advantage of these opportunities, man.
Hey, I want to thank DJ King Nick Kannon for hanging in there with me. We had some technical difficulties with internet connections and Bluetooth picking up other sounds. In the end, though, I hope we were able to give you an insightful show. I know my ears are open to absorbing some unfamiliar go-go and bounce beat music. Please be sure to follow DJ Cannon's social media links, and don't forget to also follow Bounce Beat for movie shorts. As always, please share this link to this episode and your favorite episode with someone who wants to expand their playlist. They can listen directly from our website at meetthemusic.buzzsprout.com or wherever they stream music. If this was your first episode, be sure to check out our library of recorded conversations. Our theme song is by Zhang Min. Meet the Music, hosted by me, Thomas Corley. Thank you for joining us on our musical journey.